Today we'll be meeting with Dalen. He's a 26-year-old based out of Austin, Texas, and currently he has a pretty sweet living situation. However, that could collapse at any time while he spends more money each month than he brings in. This is Financial Audit.
Hi, I'm Dalen Martinez. I am 26 years old and I am from Austin, Texas.
What do you do here in Austin?
For the past 4 years, I've been working with Total Wine and More, which is an alcohol store, liquor store, basically.
What do you do? What is your position?
Basically a team member, cashier, in-store pickup.
How much do you make?
Now it's basically 14 to 15 that I'm making an hour.
Okay, what determines the 14 to 14.50?
If you are doing a good job and you do get a raise, but that's basically every year.
Of like 50 cents.
Basically, yeah. Money back then and now isn't as a struggle for me because I was given to me, but this was way back in high school, I was given to me basically my dad helped me, was giving money. He passed away from cancer when I was a junior in high school, and then from then until I turned the age of 21, I was basically given a monthly allowance.
Mm-hmm. Of how much?
Basically, I ended up having 10 to 15 grand in my savings account, and that died down with the past.
Oh, so
7
you've been draining it? You've essentially been subsidizing your lifestyle off of it?
Lifestyle, yeah.
Why? Why instead of trying to get it to grow?
It was hard. Everything, life happens, car insurance, payments, doctor's appointments, stuff like that.
So you're making
$14.50 an hour. Work every 6 to 8 hours every week. It usually depends.
Wait, whoa. 6 to 8 hours a week?
No, a week. A day. Sorry, my bad. A day.
Oh, okay. So just looking at your just average week, how many hours a week do you work?
About 35 to 40 hours.
Okay, so basically full time. Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you live now?
Right now, about a year ago, my grandmother passed away, and she was living in a house in South Austin that was basically paid off for. The only thing we had to pay is basically the utilities of the house, and towards the end of the year, I believe, is the taxes on the house. But I think my aunt pays the taxes, and me and my cousin who are living there are basically paying the utilities. So
you're living rent-free, essentially,
rent-free,
just utilities.
Utilities,
But you do not own the home.
I do not know.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's still a great situation to save up money on the side.
Working at Total Wine and living at home, basically rent-free, it's good for me right now. But up until I turned at the age of 26, by the time I turn 26, I'm off my insurance. And basically, I need to find insurance through work.
Do they offer?
I believe they do, or every 35 or 30, up to 35 hours. But
so you're going to sign up the next enrollment period?
I need to, but the thing is, I'm not making enough hours at work now.
Why? What happened?
Customers for basically are paying. Customer service. My customer service skills kind of dwindled down, and my manager kind of noticed. It's like, hey, you just need to work on your we also get new employees to come in, so the hours I'm basically taking away, they're getting. And
yeah, but they would only take away like a senior person's hours for a new person's hours if they thought you weren't doing well.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of just ready to leave Total Wine and find more.
Why don't you?
Right now, I'm applying to other job positions. I applied to my actual bank itself, United Heritage Credit Union.
Okay.
Feel more comfortable. The type of job I'm looking for is basically one that works in the mornings, gets off our early evenings, has weekends off, and basically I have a friend who actually does work for United Heritage, and he told me how much more I would be making an hour.
What is it?
About 16.
And 16 an hour for 40 hours a week, that's actually, in Austin, hard to live off of, but you live rent-free.
I rent-free, yeah.
Yeah, just utilities. Did you have any college?
I did have some ACC at the time, but college wasn't for me. I thought it would be.
Austin Community College?
Austin Community College, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I went to ACC for a bit. Basically, I have trouble focusing.
So how many hours do you work now? Ish, on average.
About 25 to 30 hours right now.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's how much I would bring home a paycheck usually would be in between, for 2 weeks, I get paid every 2 weeks, would be in between 600 to 800. So very often too is I do take out of my savings account when I spend more than I'm actually needing to, or basically like have to spend.
Would it not make more sense to set exactly how much you're allowed to spend on food a month, how much you're allowed to spend on going out, how much you're allowed to spend on transportation? And then you only spend up to that amount and the rest is just bonus. It's savings. It's saving up.
I try to do that. I try as much as I can, but if I don't go out that much at all. Usually it's like one night a week. Usually it's for drinks.
Well, that can be a lot when you're making $1,724 after taxes.
Ooh, and that's after how many months?
That's 30 days.
That's 30 days.
Yeah, it's a month.
Yeah, that sounds about right, how much I make a month.
After taxes, yeah.
After taxes.
Well, we can get into your checkings account and break it down a little more.
Yeah.
So, looking at your checkings account, how much do you think you ate out? How much do you think you spent from your checkings account on eating out a month? Now, of course...
I even hear this. I'm pretty sure about, I would say $200.
Well, there might be more because you may have like Venmo'd someone, if they covered some of it. So that's impossible for us to calculate. But in terms of what you spent with your card, $115 eating out. So not even buying groceries.
For a month?
For the month, just eating out. That's not getting drinks or anything or buying wine because there were a lot of wine purchases. And just straight up going to a restaurant, $115 a month. But you spent $50 in Lyft. $50 in Lyft in the month. But
Austin,
why?
Austin is a pretty expensive place.
Yeah, and you have a car.
The thing is, if I'm going downtown and drinking,
that's what I figured.
Driving.
Yeah.
My budget for going downtown to clubs, I try to keep under. If it's a good paycheck, it also depends on how many times I get paid that month too.
That's not how you should budget, but
I know, but
go on.
If I get paid twice a month, I usually limit myself to like $40 going downtown. If I get paid 3 times a month, anywhere between 60 and 80, I believe.
How much do you think you took out of your checking within that 30 days? You brought in $1,724. How much came out?
24. I probably took out basically all of it.
1,924.
Seems about right.
More left your checking account than came in. Now, luckily, you didn't bounce it all because you had more money in there when you started the month. $552 beginning balance. At the end, $352. So
that's about right.
Yeah. Now, of the 1,724 that went in, some of that actually came from savings. So that wasn't all just paycheck. So technically the paycheck money that came in is actually less. Yeah, but you also deposited into savings as well. So in total, your savings started at $2,401. You took out $440, but you put in $500. So you ended up with $2,461. So you put $60 in, I guess, that month, which is an interesting way to do it.
Like thinking about it, it's a lot, but when you're actually like putting in money, it's like basically, okay, I'm going to get paid. You're thinking about, okay, this is how much I'm going to make this upcoming week. I'm going to take out this much, and basically what's going to come to me towards the next week I get paid is going to go towards, it's basically going to fix what I'm trying to make or something like that. Whatever I'm putting out, I'm basically getting back in.
Well,
I'm trying to, at least.
Yeah, trying to, because those $60 was put into the savings account in general. Even minusing that $60, your overall accounts from starting to end lost $140 All of your accounts combined, checking and savings.
Checking.
Well, the good news is you actually have no car payment. You own a car.
I own a car fully. Mm-hmm.
You have no credit card debt. You have no student loan debt.
Yeah, they got no student loan.
So you actually have a positive net worth. How much is your car worth?
Total, how much I paid for?
No, how much is it worth? If you had to guess. If you had to sell it today, how much could you get for it?
If anything, what I paid for it...
Not what you paid for it. What do you think you could sell for it today?
I'd say it's in pretty good condition. Mileage is a little bit
What's the
high,
car?
But,
What's the car?
Volkswagen Jetta.
Year?
2019.
Yeah, and the car market's been crazy. What did you buy it for? Used?
Yeah, used. Wasn't from a dealership. It was actually from a family friend, and I only, how much was it? About some work on it, about $5,000 maybe.
Okay, so I'm just gonna assume because the car market's crazy, it's worth $4,000-ish. And that's without knowing the car. We're taking kind of a guess, an educated guess there. But your net worth is probably like $6,500, which doesn't sound crazy.
Yeah.
But compared to anyone else in this series, everyone else had a negative net worth, as in they were worth less than zero. What is your desired monthly budget? Picture how much you spend. How much do you spend in utilities that you want to? How much do you want to spend in utilities?
If it would be less than...
In your ideal world right now, that's realistic.
130 for utilities, and that's like my...
Car insurance.
Car insurance. I'm used to paying $270 for it. I'm comfortable with paying $270 for it.
How much would you spend in food a month?
Now, are we talking groceries or are we talking...
Groceries.
Groceries? Okay, let's say 100. Let's say...
For the month?
I'm really good at...
I'm going to say $150. Yeah. How much do you want to spend going out at the bars or clubs or whatever? No. In your budget right now.
Okay.
Reasonably.
It's about 200. About.
Spend more going out to the club a few times a month than you do on your entire grocery shopping trips? How much on spending for food out to eat?
If I'm right about this, about 200 and 202.
You bring in your current job, which you want to change... like $1,300 a month.
That's about right. That sounds about right.
If you budget all these things that you want to do on a monthly basis, including things you have to do like utilities, $1,000 is what your budget is. That's what you're setting aside for that stuff. That leaves you with $300. You have $300 left a month. Let's just say that's what's left to play with. $300 a month. I'm going to put $100 aside for fun.
Okay.
So $200 is what you're saving. $100 for emergencies are fun, and that's being, I think, ultra conservative.
Yeah.
I need you to get to $6,000 for an emergency fund in your savings account before you do anything. You have $2,000. So 6,000 minus the 2,461 you have in there. That'll take you, cool, and this is where I'm going to die. It's going to take you a year and a half. Are you okay with that? A year and a half just to save up an emergency fund for emergencies. Year and a half. You need to make more money. You need to go make more money now.
Yeah, I do. Again.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably make like $25,000 a year after taxes in your new role. That'll give you an extra... That'll probably give you an extra $700 a month. And if you have that extra $700 a month, let's put $200 to fun and stuff. You have $500 then. And I need you to get to that $6,000 because that's essentially what we've determined is you have $1,000 that you have in your budget in order to survive in your lifestyle. You could obviously cut back the clubs, the eating out.
Yeah.
You would probably have to...
the eating out, yeah.
Yeah. You'll get to that emergency fund in 7 months. That's reasonable. How does that sound versus the year and a half?
That sounds more doable too. Right.
You need that.
I need that, yeah.
We are literally setting up the foundations. We're not even talking about anything good yet, like a stock market. You have to do, this is like the most minimum basic next step in your life. So you have to save up to that $6,000 in your emergency fund, just in case you'll lose a job and it takes a few months to find a job. Mm-hmm. That's what it's there for. How likely are you to cut back on any of these things? And realistically, to get to that goal where you need to be to live a safer life?
if the paycheck, I basically do the math for like once I get that paycheck, I do the math for the 2 weeks. Like, okay, this is how much I need to put away. This is how much I need to, and I need to make sure that I do not touch this, because that's the thing too. I have a problem with is touching from my savings.
Yeah,
account
you can't do that.
Into my
savings account money you don't touch. It's an emergency.
Yeah.
I mean, you took out a few $100, and luckily you put it back in, plus a little more. But let's say you're able to save $500 a month after you get your $6,000. You save that until you're 60, ready to retire. How much do you think that S&P 500 index fund is worth at that time? $500 a month, 60 years, ready to retire. So that's without any pay raises or anything. You're literally doing the same job, $500 a month.
For 60 years? We have to do that.
No, you'll be 60, ready to retire. Just make a guess.
600,000 or something.
Okay, it would be worth 1.32 or 1.39 million dollars. How hard do you look for new opportunities?
I try to Indeed, Facebook ads, stuff like that. Recently, I went to this type of job for that was down here at the.
Yeah, I mean, really, just what I want to see. I mean, I'd rather, someone who's in their hometown wants to stay in their hometown is able to stay in their hometown. Mm-hmm. Especially in a situation like Austin, where a lot of people are getting priced out. Yeah. So yeah, I would love you to just able to find a job that
meets all these requirements.
Well, it's not even just meeting the requirements. It's that next step up. Banking job gets you $32,000 a year. That's hard in Austin. $32,000 a year. I want to see you making $60,000 a year minimum.
And that's in Austin.
I want you to be able to stay in Austin if you want to and make $60,000 a year minimum. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that you're able to live, get a place that on your own that you want to live in, be able to save up that emergency fund, and be able to save for retirement.
Now, how much an hour would I have to be making in order to be living in Austin? Like, what's like the minimum people should be making in Austin?
Minimum wage workers struggle to pay rent in Austin more than any other Texas city, report says. A person needs to make at least $27.58 an hour to comfortably afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Austin Round Rock. Okay. That's in Austin Round Rock, so that's the metro area though. So that's not even including main Austin. So if it was main Austin, it would probably be more. But of course you could do a 1-bedroom. $1,000. That's almost $60,000 a year. That essentially a person has to make to live in Austin, according to the Austin American Statesman, to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. Any final thoughts?
Right now, find a suitable job for me that meets the requirement. Well, at least meet me halfway with it. Not even halfway. Actually, I want to meet fully with the requirements that I'm looking for with budget savings, spending costs like that, and then making sure that I don't take anything out of my savings account, even if I have to put money aside and actually give it to my mother, because my mom usually would handle my money crisis. She would set it aside for me. She's like, okay, give me this much a month, and I will set it aside for you. You're not allowed to touch it until you that age, until I'm a certain age. So
give this video a like and drop any comment below so that YouTube recommends this video to more people. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.